Very few Marvel villains transcend the title they debut in. Sure, there may be a guest appearance here, or a cameo there, but most baddies are pretty well tethered to their original heroic nemesis over the course of their existence. The star of this video is definitely not one of those characters. He was the Marvel Age's first supervillain, appearing in numerous titles in the foundational years of the Marvel Universe. The ruler of his own country, a dangerous and deceitful sorcerer with a genius-level intellect, and for good measure, he has an entire legion of robotic doppelgangers with AI that's so advanced they actually think they are him when he's not around. In this video, we dive into the dastardly keys of the diabolical Dr. Doom. After an abundance of positive comments and general excitement following the first installment of Keys for Every Budget that featured Namor, it only seemed right to keep the party going and to follow up with another episode. What would you think about this series going big time with a new installment every month in addition to our other top 10 comics videos? Leave me a comment down below, but now it's time to get to the books. Starting us off in the $10 spot is December 2019's Dr. Doom #1. 57 years after his first appearance, one of Marvel's greatest villains finally received his own self-titled series. Which really, when you think about it, is very sad when you realize that the Punisher was on like volume 12 or 13 at that point. I mean, come on. Dr. Doom #1 has a cover by Ako. I don't know if it's Ako, whatever. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but the important thing is that this guy can draw because the cover's pretty good. The interior art duties were handled by one of my favorite modern artists, Salvador Larroca, and the story was scripted by Christopher Cantwell. As Dr. Doom #1 was published after the year 2005, it naturally hit the market alongside a vast assortment of ratio variants, and eventually in early 2020, even a second printing came along. However, none of those books can be picked up for our $10 budget, so for this video, we're sticking with the A cover. After spending 2005 making Captain America a title that was actually worth reading for the first time in decades, Ed Brubaker was given a new assignment: tell a 6-issue origin story for Dr. Doom, and thus Books of Doom was born. Our $25 budget entry, Books of Doom #1, was published in January 2006. The 6-issue miniseries all featured painted covers from artist Paulo Rivera, while Pablo Raimondi provided the interior pencils. There have been no shortage of Dr. Doom origin issues over the years, but Brubaker and company were the first to really be able to take a deep dive into the tale of Victor Von Doom. There are few creators who I will follow blindly, but Ed Brubaker is certainly one of them. Beyond the cool painted covers, I have a feeling that not only will this book look good in your collection, it'll be a good one to read as well. So let me tee this one up for you. Two of Marvel's most powerful magic users, after fighting for a promotion, travel to hell in order to save one of their mother's souls from the devil of the Marvel Universe. Not bad, right? I mean, would you read that? The $50 Dr. Doom book is Marvel graphic novel #49. Published back in 1989, the story, titled Triumph and Torment, was written by Roger Stern and pits our guy Dr. Doom against Doctor Strange as they compete for the title of Sorcerer Supreme. When Doctor Strange wins, he grants Doom a single request. Doom asks Strange to accompany him to hell to rescue the soul of his mother from the clutches of Mephisto. As if this premise isn't good enough, the artist is pretty well suited for such a story. Up-and-coming artist Mike Mignola, who was just a few years away from launching his most famous creation in Hellboy, handled the pencils for the cover and interior art. Not every Marvel graphic novel was a hit, but this volume is one of the best. Our $100 Dr. Doom key is Astonishing Tales #1. Astonishing Tales was a double feature series that included a Kazar and a Dr. Doom story in each issue. Well, that's up until issue 9 anyway, when Kazar boots Doom and takes over the whole title. Published in August 1970, this is the first series where we have a string of consecutive solo Dr. Doom stories. This issue is packed full of legendary creators, though. The Kazar story was from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, while Roy Thomas and Wally Wood provided the Doctor Doom story, all of which was found beneath a Marie Severin penciled and a Bill Everett inked cover. That's a lot of legendary creators in a single book. A late Silver Age issue, Astonishing Tales 1 is still rather affordable, even in high grade today. As it turns out, Doctor Doom is kind of a big deal, which made finding issues in the smaller budget ranges a little tough. However, beginning here at the $500 price range, a number of options present themselves. Even so, our $500 budget can only get you an upper mid-grade copy of Marvel Superheroes number 20. This book has seen a surprising increase in value over the last couple of years, though it should not be a surprise because, as luck would have it, it's one of the only issues of this title I'm missing, naturally. Marvel Superheroes 20 has a couple of things going for it. First off, the Larry Lieber cover may well be the best Doom cover in all of the Silver Age, if not ever. Additionally, this is the first time that Doom gets the solo story treatment. No longer is he bound to the Fantastic Four or any other Marvel character. This is Doom's book. Oh, and we also get another retelling of his origin here, just for good measure. Published in May 1969, Lieber has a hand in the first half of the script and interior art, with Roy Thomas finishing out the story and Frank Giacoia rounding out the interior pencils. If you're looking for another reason to pick up this issue outside of the cover, it's also full of great reprinted Golden Age stories, as the Doom story only accounts for 24 out of the robust 68 pages. Any collector of Silver Age comics can go on at length about the challenges of finding high-grade copies of square-bound issues. When you do find a high-grade copy of such a book, it's gonna really cost you, because they are few and far between. Our pick for the $1,000 plus budget is Fantastic Four Annual number 2. This beefy 76-page annual includes multiple Doctor Doom stories, along with a reprint of Doom's first appearance. Published in October 1964, FF Annual 2 hails from one of the greatest and longest-lasting creative collaborations in the history of comics between Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. In addition to the annuals they collaborated on, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would put out 102 consecutive issues of Fantastic Four. What else can we find within this 1964 Fantastic Four annual? If you just said probably another origin story for Doctor Doom, then you win the no prize, because that is exactly what we get. The Jack Kirby cover is, in my opinion, the strongest Doom cover that Kirby had turned in up to that point, and in many ways, the cover to FF Annual 2 invokes the cover of Fantastic Four number 1, which I think kind of adds to the overall appeal of the book. Looking at recent sales, there are a ton of low-grade copies that have changed hands for very affordable prices lately, while a self-described very fine minus raw copy sold for $849 earlier in August of 2022. Due to the elusiveness of higher grade copies, there are few sales of CGC copies in 8.0 and higher over the last 12 months, while grades 7.5 and below have seen much more frequent sales. A notable recent sale for a CGC 7.5 at $2,340 is just shy of an 11% increase over the 12-month average. And now for the Grail piece for any Doctor Doom fan, Fantastic Four number 5. The importance of this book is hard to overstate. Doom has become such a crucial part of the Marvel Universe as a whole and has been extremely relevant to the entire Marvel line for 60 years now. Published in July 1962, Doom was there when the foundation of the Marvel Universe was being built. For perspective, Doom predates Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, the X-Men, Daredevil, and so many other classic Marvel characters. Basically, the only Marvel heroes he wasn't around before are the Fantastic Four, Ant-Man, and the Hulk. This Stan Lee and Jack Kirby story unfolds over 5 parts, and just so you understand how smart and technologically advanced this guy was, he sends the Fantastic Four back in time in their very first meeting. Why do all the hard work yourself when you can just dump what is bothering you in the laps of a bunch of pirates from a few hundred years ago, right? Long gone are the days where a patient patient collector could pick up a low-grade copy of this book for a couple $100. In today's world, you're going to pay four figures even if the book is incomplete or in more than one piece. In June 2022, a CGC 9.4 copy of Fantastic Four number 5 sold for $162,000, with other notable sales in 8.5 at $60,000, 7.5 at $40,800, and in July, a .5 incomplete copy sold for $4,000. One thing is for sure, the market thinks Doctor Doom will be here sooner rather than later, and they are putting their money into FF5 in anticipation. One thing that really occurred to me while I was putting this list together is how much value the market places in significant Doctor Doom appearances and stories. From classic covers such as Fantastic Four 39, Daredevil 38, Iron Man 150, Secret Wars 8, and Vengeance 6, to classic Doom stories and appearances such as Amazing Spider-Man 5, Avengers 25, and Fantastic Four 59, all of which are great Doom books that weren't even included on this list. It's apparent that where Doom goes, the market follows. And I think that's a great reminder of how forgiving, or at least cyclical, the market is. These books continue to rise to the top time and time again, despite Marvel or Fox's best attempts to mistreat Doctor Doom in the most widely visible format available. Starting with the wonderfully bad Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that was really more of a defensive legal move than anything, and then wrapping up most recently with whatever the hell that was that Josh Trank directed. There's no shortage of fans out there waiting, hoping, and dreaming of a time where someone can finally do the character justice on the big screen. The ball is in your court, Marvel Studios. Please don't let us down. Be sure to check out the description below for a number of promotional and discount codes that can help you save money, with benefits ranging from 2 free weeks of Key Collector to discounts off of comic supplies such as bags and boards, long boxes, short boxes, Gemini mailers, and more. Happy hunting out there, and don't forget to collect responsibly. I'll see you in the next video.